Community Investment Fund has been going now for a couple of years. And each year we take a look at how we can actually improve the access to it and to make it easier for people like yourselves and small community groups to make an application. So just at the end of April of this year, again, the panel again had a look at the application form. And we decided that for the next year, we're actually going to have an application form which asks only 2 questions about the project.
Bring me a pen, please.
And so it's important, we felt it was important then to take you through the two questions to get an understanding of what we're looking, give you an opportunity then to ask any questions or seek clarification on the fund itself. And we in the foundation are really, really grateful to the Bank of Ireland for supporting us in the fund, because it means that we are investing some money into the fund, as is the Bank of Ireland. So it gives us a bit more money to distribute. Okay, Kirsty. So the fund has really only 2 aims. It's an investment for community initiatives that are making a difference in towns and villages across Northern Ireland. And the fund will enable organisations who are making the lives of others in their community better by improving their financial, physical and mental well-being. And we use the term investment very deliberately in this. We're actually investing in people, we're investing in communities to make their places, which are good places to live in, make them even better places to live in. And again, as we say, it's by improving financial, physical and mental well-being. Okay, Kirsty. So the fund criteria, we have investments available up to £2,000. One of the key things, and it's a difference to many of the other funds that we have and many of the other funds that other foundations or other funding organisations will have, you don't have to have a constitution to make an application. That's an important stipulation, because we recognise that there are many people out there who are trying to make their places and communities better places to live in, but they get together to do it because they love the place. They don't want to be part of a formalised group, but what they're doing is really valuable work. So you don't have that constitution. You don't have to have a constitution to make an application. Groups with an income of up to £30,000 per annum are eligible to apply. But if we are getting to a stage where we are oversubscribed, we would always give preference to that small group with an income of up to £10,000. But please don't, if you have £25,000 of an income, that should not preclude you from applying. But we do give preference to those smaller groups. Applications are sought to support both new and existing activities. Again, some funders will only fund something that is new or they would call innovative. And it might be innovative in your place because it's the first time you've tried it. So it doesn't have to be something that has never ever been done before. If it's something you have seen from another community in Northern Ireland or another community somewhere else, and you want to have a go at it, that's new in your area. It's not innovative in terms of it's not been done before, but it's new in your area. And again, we use the word new very deliberately. We don't use the word innovative. And then the project should focus on improving at least one of the following: the financial well-being of local community, the physical well-being of the local community, or the mental well-being of one of the community. Now, if you have a project that can do all 3, that's great. But what we don't want groups thinking about, we have to hit all 3 and what are we going to do? That's not the focus. If you're improving and enhancing and making the lives of people in your community better by either financial well-being, physical well-being or mental well-being, that is what we are looking for. So one of the three is more than enough to be eligible for consideration under the fund. So there are only 2 questions about the project, and they are all under section 2 of the application form. So section 1, we're only going to concentrate on section 2. Section 1 is the basic information we need of any group: name of the group, the committee members or the members of the group, if you have a constitution, where you're located, all of those things that come with any application. Section 3 then is around the impact, around how many people will benefit, and the types of people that benefit within your community. And then section 4 is the money bit, what you're looking, how you want it broke down. But the important section is section 2. And there are 2 questions, as I say. And the first one, please tell us what is good about your community or community of interest. And it is, and Kirsty is on the panel. The panel is an intern panel from Community Foundation staff, and Kirsty will confirm that it's really frightening and really puzzling to see the amount of applications that come into us where groups are struggling to tell us what is good about their community or community of interest. And the reason for that is, and the foundation is the same, and lots of funders have the same sort of questions around, tell us what the issues are and tell us what's wrong. And we've taken a different approach around this. We're starting from what is good. So the actual question in the application form is what is good about your community or community of interest, and then it goes on to say, please do not reference any poverty or disadvantage statistics. And we've deliberately said that because we had that question in when we started this type of application 2 years ago, and groups were still coming in with the disadvantage and poverty stats. We want you to tell us what is good about your community. So it's a different type of question we're asking, and it requires a different type of answer. And lots of groups have struggled because lots of groups have never had to actually ask that question of themselves or ask that question of their community. So if we're investing in a community, we're investing in a community to make it even a better place, make it an even better place to live. But actually what we want you to find out is what is actually good about the community. And there's so much good in our communities that it is, it's really, really pleasing to get the applications when you can see that the groups of people who are applying are connected to the community and can tell us what is good. And the second question is, please tell us what you're applying to the Community Foundation to do and how this will help your community to be an even better place to live in. So the first question is, what is good at the present minute? And the second question is, how will what you're looking us to support make it an even better place to live in? And again, that's a different type of question than most groups will have been asked to answer. So the normal one is, what are the issues and what are you trying to do and how will you address those issues? This is completely different, and it's starting with what we call an asset-based approach, that everywhere has things that are good, everywhere has assets that can be utilized, and if you utilize them in the right place. Yeah, Geraldine, we can do that. What we'll be doing, Geraldine, and everybody's on the call, we will be actually putting this the slides up onto the website as well, so people can reference it again. So this time what we're looking for is an even better place to live in. We're looking for the groups to recognize that this project will help make the community somewhere special to live in, a better place for people, either financially better, physically better, or mental well-being better. So again, it's about thinking differently about how you're going to answer that question. And again, we say in the application form, please don't reference disadvantage statistics or poverty statistics. This is a different approach called assets-based. Okay, Kirsty? So the documentation that you require, all the applications are done online, and we'll give you the link to it at the end of the presentation. So you please, before you submit your application, upload the following supporting documents, which must be in the name of the applicant organization. And we have seen several really good applications being forwarded, and what happens is the supporting documentation isn't supplied. Now, normally what happens is if the fund is undersubscribed, we will take some time to go back and ask the groups to submit it. But if the fund is oversubscribed and we have far more applications than we can support, if the application isn't supported and hasn't the supporting documentations, it is deemed ineligible. So what I would recommend to groups who are maybe potentially doing this for the very first time with the Community Foundation, have somebody else, whoever's submitting the application, have somebody else sitting beside them and a bit of a checklist. Here are the four documentations that we need. The governing document, if you have one, with the Constitution, and again, remember you don't have to have one to make the application. A copy of your most recent accounts, or lots of smaller groups will not have accounts, but an income and expenditure account may be presented at an AGM. A copy of your equality policy, and then if your project is working with children or adults, a copy of your safeguarding. So what I would be recommending then is someone who will say, we have uploaded our governing document, check. Now we'll upload our recent accounts or income expenditure. That's uploaded, check. A copy of the equality policy, that's uploaded, check. And then a copy of our safeguarding policy, that's been uploaded. We have them uploaded. Now we're in a position to submit the application. So upload the documents first and then submit the application last. That's really important. And the other thing about that is also for me, it's one of those things that I'm very conscious of, is that if the group make a really good application but are turned down because it's ineligible because one of the documents hasn't been uploaded, what usually happens is the person that was responsible for uploading it gets the blame for not doing it. And we don't want that to happen. No, because most of the people who are going to be uploading these documents are volunteers like yourselves. And just maybe they're trying to do it right at the last minute and they've forgot it. So we don't want that to happen. So have somebody else in the space with you to make sure that they're all uploaded. Because one of the other things will happen is if you do get the money, everybody takes the praise for it. But you can ensure if you don't get the money, someone will always be the fall guy. So make sure you have somebody there to help you with that. So the application will only be assessed if you provide all the supporting documentation required. But if you've applied for a grant with the foundation in the last 12 months and you've provided that supporting documentation above, then there's no need to upload again. What we will do is we'll just transfer one across to the other. And that's the thing we have changed within the foundation as well, listening to grantees, listening to people who have made applications within 12 months, saying, why do we have to keep supplying the supporting documentation when we've already supplied it? So throughout the foundation, if the documentations that are required have been uploaded in the last 12 months, there is no need to upload again. So bear that in mind. Okay, Kirsty. So the timeline the new application became live today on the 4th of July. There's no closing date for application, so this is a completely rolling call. We meet as a grants panel on a monthly basis, and there are 3 decisions we make. We approve. There may be some further information, maybe we're just not sure and we need some further information to make the final decision, or rejection is made. And the grants panel, I know we're quite open about this one. The grants panel, because of the size of the grants, is an internal panel. We're made up of the CFNI staff. And whilst I lead the program, I can tell you that the staff who are involved in the grants panel, they just don't whiz decisions through on a nod. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of debate, and I come in for a fair bit of stick here as being too hard, but actually some of the other panel members are beginning to get harder than me. So it's you do have to convince them that it's a worthy panel. But that's great to see. It's great that they have the experience and the confidence to say yes, we agree, no, we don't, or we need a bit more information to make an informed decision. If your group is if your group has an application that's rejected, you will always be given a reason why. And if we think that you should reapply, we'll give you some other indicators as to how an application to the fund could be strengthened. And one of the things we're always open to is to have a conversation. And I will make myself available if anybody wants to have a conversation about an application that has been failed or been rejected. Absolutely have no problem having the conversation in a way to make that another application to the fund stronger. And it may be that when we read the application, we actually think that actually there's a fund that within the foundation that the application and the project is better suited to, and it might be that we would direct you to that, and that happens all the time. And no later than on Friday, I had a conversation with a group who are exploring the possibility of either applying to this or to another fund. And from what they were saying, it was obviously the other fund was a much better fit for them. So they're applying to it. And then you have 1 year to spend any investment awarded. And that's really important. So, it doesn't, if you have a project and you think that, look, we could run this over a number of months, you have the time frame. The other thing then about, we're meeting on a monthly basis, that's important as well. So if you're looking for a funding to support a project that starts on the 1st or 2nd week in August, we'll not have our monthly meeting for July towards the end of July, probably the 1st week in August. So it's very unlikely that we'll meet that time frame. So what I would be doing is, if you're putting in an application in July, it's for a project starting late August, early September. If you put in the application in August, it's for an application that's starting probably towards late September, October. So it's about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks time lag on that. And that's to be fair to the panel as well. And we also have to bear in mind that we're now hitting the peak holiday season and panel members will be off on leave. But we will be having panel meetings on a monthly basis. So, for instance, the applications we received in June, we're having that meeting tomorrow. That meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, so that groups can either start late July or early August. Okay, Kirsty. So for further information, that's the direct link now to the fund. Again, we'll have these slides, but if you go into the Community Foundation website and under open funds, you can just scroll down to the micro investment fund, click on it and read the guidance. There's a button you hit, and that will give you then a direct link to the application form. Nikki is the main administrator for the fund and a fount of all knowledge as to if anything goes wrong with your application, you can't get into it. I'm the one person not to, anything technical like that, I am the one person not to contact. And I'm holding my hands up on that. I'm useless at that. And again, there's my email address. And please, we're here to help. And if you have a project in mind and you think, well, should I check it out? Or if you have if you're answering a question and you want to know if does that seem to be right, don't be afraid to send that down to me, in an email, and I'll have a look at it. One of the things we're always mindful of again is, as volunteers, we don't want people to be wasting time writing an application form when we can immediately see that either they don't understand the fund, or the answer they're given doesn't meet what we want. We'd rather you check it out first. I think that's a better use of your time. So you have my email address there, and it'll be in the slides as well.